Emma Parker, 34, stands at the long dining table in her parents' two-story home outside Boston on New Year's Day 2022. Her husband, Noah, sits beside their 8-year-old daughter Mia, who plays a game on Emma's phone. The room smells like roasted chicken and cinnamon. Laughter dies down when Mia suddenly rushes over, eyes wide. "Mom," Mia whispers, "why am I not in Grandma's pictures? You and Dad aren't there either." Emma blinks and takes the phone. She opens her mother Linda's new Facebook album, nearly 50 photos from the party. In each one, faces smile under silver Happy New Year balloons, but Emma's little family is missing like ghosts. "Mom," Emma asks gently, "what's this?" Linda looks down at her napkin. Emma's father, George, clears his throat. "Our page, our rules," he says. Emma forces a calm voice. "But we were in those photos. I remember standing by the tree." Her brother Jake, a lawyer in a fitted suit even on holidays, stares at his plate. "Jake," Emma says softly, "did you edit them?" Jake finally lifts his eyes. "Dad asked me to tidy the shots," he says. "I just helped." Noah squeezes Emma's hand under the table. Mia watches all the grown-ups with a small, scared frown. Emma hears her own heartbeat. "Tidy the shots," she repeats. "You erased my child." George pushes his chair back, voice turning hard. "Watch your tone. You're living here for free. Know your place." The room falls silent except for the clock on the wall. Emma keeps her chin level. "We moved in after my studio closed," she says. "We pay for food and help around the house. But this is different." Linda folds her arms. "Neighbors talk," she murmurs. "They ask why you're back. It makes us look." She doesn't finish. Emma breathes in slowly. "You erased Mia," she says again, as if naming the harm will make everyone see it. Noah leans forward. "George, this isn't about pride. It's about a child." George slams his palm on the table, forks rattle. "The daughter of a failure is a shame in photos," he snaps. Mia flinches. Noah stands half out of his chair. Emma catches his sleeve. "No," she says quietly, then turns to her father. "Say that again to me, not to her." Jake tries to smooth things over, voice flat. "Let's not turn this into a scene." Emma looks at her mother. "Mom, do you agree?" Linda's eyes slide away. "Respect your father," she whispers. Emma nods once, like a door closing in her mind. "Then we can't stay," she says. "I won't let my daughter learn that love deletes her." They pack in 30 minutes. Noah folds clothes into 2 suitcases. Emma grabs documents, Mia's school forms, and a shoebox of printed photos, proof that her girl exists in family history. Mia stands by the hallway mirror, hugging a stuffed rabbit. "Are we in trouble?" she asks. Emma kneels. "No," she says, brushing a curl from Mia's cheek. "We're choosing better." George appears in the doorway, arms crossed. "You'll be back in 2 days," he says. "You always come back." Jake leans on the banister. "Emma," he says, "be reasonable. Dad's upset. He didn't mean it." Emma zips the last bag. "He meant it enough to erase a child," she replies. Linda hovers at the kitchen arch, voice thin. "Leave the spare key," she says. Emma places it on the counter without a word. At the car, Jake mutters to Noah, "This'll blow over." Noah meets his eyes. "Not this time." As they pull away, Mia watches the house shrink in the rear view. "Grandpa Walter told me to text if anything bad happened," she whispers. Emma turns. "Grandpa Walter, her late grandmother's old friend?" "Your great-grandpa," Mia corrects softly. "He said, 'Tell me the truth when grown-ups forget.'" Emma blinks. "Did you text him?" Mia nods. "I wrote, 'They erased me.'" Emma feels fear and relief push against each other inside her chest. The phone rings before they reach the highway. Emma answers on speaker. It's Walter." His voice is steady, warm, the same voice that used to narrate stories while Mia fell asleep on his porch swing. "Come to my place," he says. "I'll put the kettle on." Emma swallows. "We don't want to trouble you." "Nonsense," Walter replies. "I was a newspaperman for 40 years. I've seen bullies in suits and bullies in kitchens. Come." Noah glances at Emma and nods. "We'll be there in an hour," she says. The drive is quiet. Streetlights blink past like slow metronomes. Mia hums to herself, tracing hearts on the fogged window. Mom, she asks, why do grown-ups erase people? Emma thinks. Sometimes people get scared of stories that don't match the picture they want to show, she says. But the truth always finds its way back in. Noah adds softly, we'll make new pictures. Real ones. Emma squeezes his hand. We will. When they pull into Walter's small clapboard house, the porch light is already on. Walter stands in the doorway in a flannel shirt, silver hair wild, blue eyes sharp. He opens his arms. There's my girl, he says to Mia, who runs into his hug. And there's my brave Emma. He ushers them inside. Framed photographs line every Wall Street corners in rain, hands holding hands, a toddler mid-laugh, a soldier tying his boot, a grandmother blowing out candles. No one is missing from these frames. They sit at Walter's round kitchen table with chipped blue paint. Steam curls from 3 mugs. Walter listens while Emma tells the story from start to finish. The Facebook album, the empty spaces, George's words like stones. She keeps her voice even, but when she reaches the part where Mia asked, why am I not in the pictures? It shakes. Walter's jaw tightens. I taught your father to use a camera when he was 16, he says quietly. I told him the first rule photography is about truth. He turns to Mia. And the truth is you belong. Mia straightens a little. Noah leans forward. We can get a motel for a few nights, he says. I've got a line on a short-term place near the school. Walter shakes his head. You'll stay here until you're steady. And tomorrow we're going to talk to them. Emma stiffens. Dad won't listen. Walter's gaze is firm. Then he can listen to a letter from a lawyer. Emma blinks. A lawyer. Walter nods once. Erasing a child from family photos to shame her parents while weaponizing housing, that's cruelty with consequences. We'll handle it with calm, with proof, and with light. He taps the table. But first, Mia, we're going to make a new album. You, me. We'll call it Nobody Erases Me. Mia smiles for the first time that day. Emma exhales a long, shaky breath. Okay, she says. Tomorrow we face them. Tonight we make pictures. Walter lifts his mug. To truth, he says. To family that acts like family, Noah adds. Emma touches her mug to theirs. To Mia being seen. Morning light spills through Walter's curtains. Emma wakes to the sound of quiet clinking in the kitchen. Mia pads in barefoot. Grandpa Walt, can we start the album? She asks. You bet, he says, setting a camera on the table. Emma joins them, hair in a loose bun. We should call a lawyer, she says softly to Noah. If Dad tries to twist this, we need help. Walter nods. I know someone, Michelle Gray. Smart, calm, kind. She hates bullies. He dials. Michelle? It's Walt. I've got a family matter. He listens, then smiles. 10 o'clock? Perfect. Emma breathes out. Thank you. Mia lifts the camera. Mom's smile. Emma grins, then turns serious. Mia, today might be loud. If people shout, you stay by me or Grandpa, okay? Okay, Mia says. But can I record the truth if it happens? Walter winks. Only if you feel safe. Noah squeezes Emma's shoulder. We're ready. Walter taps the doorframe on their way out. Rule of the day, he says. We speak clearly, we don't curse, and we don't back down. Michelle Gray's office is warm and sunlit, books stacked in neat rows. She greets them with a steady handshake. I'm sorry you're going through this, she tells Emma. Tell me exactly what happened. Emma explains. The album, the edits, the words. Michelle's pen moves quickly. So your parents provided housing, then used it to shame you and erase your child. Your brother admitted he manipulated the photos at your father's request. She looks up. Do you have screenshots? Emma nods and slides her phone over. I saved the album before it was edited and after. Michelle studies the images. Good. This shows intent. Noah leans forward. What can we do? Michelle's voice is even. First, a formal letter demanding they cease harassment and restore the photos. Second, we ask for a written agreement allowing you reasonable notice to move, not midnight threats. Third, if they continue, we explore civil options. Emma hesitates. They'll say I'm ungrateful. Michelle smiles sadly. Gratitude doesn't mean silence. Walter adds, we may also have an old financial matter to raise if needed. Michelle arches an eyebrow. Understood. Leverage is leverage. She prints a letter. I'll accompany you observing only. If things escalate, we step outside and call the police. They drive to George and Linda's house. The wreath from last night still hangs crooked on the door. Emma's hand trembles as she rings the bell. George opens it jaw tight. What now? He snaps. Linda hovers behind him. Emma keeps her tone even. We came to talk. This is Michelle Gray, our attorney. George barks a laugh. Attorney? For Facebook pictures. Michelle speaks gently. For a pattern of humiliation. Jake steps into the hall, tie loose. You brought a lawyer? Emma turns to him. You erased my child. Jake rubs his forehead. Dad told me to clean the album. I thought it would calm things down. Calm what? Emma asks. Our existence? Walter clears his throat. George, we want an apology and the photos restored. And we want you to stop using housing as a leash. George's eyes flash. You live under my roof, you follow my rules. Michelle holds out the letter. Then put the rules in writing with dignity and boundaries. George swats the paper away. Get out. Mia peeks from behind Emma's coat. George's gaze flicks to her. Back to hiding behind the kid? He sneers. Emma steps forward, voice firm. You don't talk about my daughter. The hallway tightens with silence. Linda whispers, Emma, don't make a scene. Emma turns, eyes wet but steady. The scene was made when you deleted Mia. Jake mutters, we can restore them. George growls, we won't. Walter's voice lowers, steel under velvet. Then we'll address another issue. George glares. What issue? Walter meets his son's eyes. The 40% down payment I transferred when you bought this house. You promised to pay me back in 3 years. 15 passed. Jake blinks. Dad. George scoffs. Old man, you said it was a gift. Walter shakes his head. I said it was help. I kept the emails. Michelle nods slowly. I can review that. Linda's voice cracks. George, tell them it's not true. George squares his shoulders. You have nothing. Emma reaches into her tote and places printed emails on the console table. Walter's bank confirmations and George's replies. Grandpa kept everything, she says quietly. Jake reads, color draining from his face. Dad, this is bad. George points at Emma. You planned this. Emma answers, calm and clear. I plan to protect my child. George lunges a step and Noah moves between them, palm open. We're not here to fight, Noah says. We're here to set lines. Michelle lifts a hand. Let's step back. George, if you restore the photos, apologize and agree to a written move-out timeline, this ends today. Otherwise, we escalate on both fronts. Linda whispers, George, please. He stares at the papers, then at Emma. You think you can threaten me? He says, voice shaking with pride. I built this family. Emma's voice softens. Families aren't built on erasing people. Jake swallows hard. I'll fix the album now, he says, pulling out his phone. George snaps, don't touch it. He turns to Mia, who clutches her rabbit. You want your picture on my page? He says coldly. Earn it. Emma's breath catches. Walter steps forward, eyes blazing. She was born. She earned it. Michelle's tone cools. That's enough. We're done here. She gathers the documents. Expect our letters. Emma looks at Linda. Mom, you can still call me. Linda's lips tremble, but she says nothing. Back at Walter's, the kettle whistles again. Michelle reviews the emails at the kitchen table. These are strong, she says. They show a loan, not a gift. Walter nods. I never asked because I didn't need it. But I won't watch them burn Emma to keep their pride warm. Emma folds her hands. If we do this, there's no going back. Michelle meets her eyes. Some doors need closing so better ones can open. Mia sits beside Walter, sorting prints for their new album. This one is called Brave Mom, she says, pointing at a shot of Emma on the porch, chin lifted. Noah smiles. Perfect title. Michelle prints a second letter. First step, a demand to restore the original photos and stop targeting Emma's housing. Second, a formal demand about the loan. If they ignore us, we file. Walter touches Emma's wrist. I'm sorry it's come to this. Emma shakes her head. I'm not. I'm tired of being edited out. She kisses Mia's hair. We're going to be okay. Mia smiles. We've got pictures. 2 days pass. Jake texts Emma late at night. I can restore the album quietly. Dad will never know. Emma replies, do it openly. Tell the truth. In the morning, a new post appears on Linda's page. Photos updated. The album now shows Emma's arm half visible in a few frames, but Mia is still missing. Emma stares at the screen stunned. Jake calls. It's the best I can do, he says. Dad's watching. Emma's voice goes flat. Half an arm isn't my daughter. Walter taps his phone. Michelle, they're playing games. That afternoon, a courier drops 2 envelopes at George and Linda's door, one about the photos and harassment, one about the loan. Within hours, George calls from a blocked number. Emma lets it ring out. He leaves a message, voice thick with fury. You'll regret this. Noah presses his lips together. We'll document everything, he says, opening a new digital folder labeled Truth. Mia peeks over his shoulder. Can I put stars on the folder? Yes, he says, smiling despite himself. Gold ones. That evening, headlights sweep across Walter's front room. A car door slams. Emma's chest tightens. Stay inside, she tells Mia. She opens the door to find George at the gate, fists jammed in his coat pockets, breath white in the cold. Linda stands behind him, eyes red. George doesn't step forward. You want money, he says. Take a little and drop this. Emma shakes her head. This isn't about money. It's about respect. George's jaw ticks. Respect is earned. Emma holds his gaze. I earned it when I brought your granddaughter into the world and showed up here every time you called. You lost it when you erased her. Linda whispers, Emma, please. Emma softens. Mom, I love you. But you stood there while he erased my child. You can love us out loud now, or you can watch from far away. George scoffs. Dramatic. Walter steps onto the porch, calm as snowfall. You have 7 days to respond, he tells George. After that we file. George turns on his heel. Do it. Linda hesitates, meets Emma's eyes with a small, breaking look, then follows him into the night. The next morning, Emma wakes to a ping. A private message from Jake. A video file. She plays it, eyes widening. It's a screen recording of his editing workstation before and after frames of the New Year's album, layers showing where Mia and Emma were masked out, timestamped the night of the party. A text arrives seconds later. Use it if you must. I'm sorry. Emma forwards the file to Michelle, hands shaking. He's scared, Noah says quietly. Emma nods. Maybe he's also ashamed. Walter watches Mia spread their new prints across the table, Mia tying her shoe, Emma and Noah laughing, Walter stirring cocoa. Truth is heavier than people think, Walter says softly. Emma exhales. Then we'll lift it together. Michelle replies, this is excellent evidence. She adds, be ready. When people lose control of the picture, they try to break the camera. By noon, George posts a long status. Family matters should stay private. Some people exploit elders. Comments flood in, neighbors taking sides, relatives asking questions. Emma doesn't reply. Instead, she walks with Mia to the park. Snow dusts the swings. Mom, Mia says, are we the bad guys? Emma kneels eye to eye. No, she says. We're the ones telling the truth when it's hard. Mia nods slowly. Then can we take a picture of the swing? It's lonely. Emma smiles. Let's make it less lonely. She sits on one swing. Mia takes the other, boots scraping snow. Noah lifts the camera. Walter's voice floats on the wind behind them. Hold still, beautiful. Emma looks at her daughter, cheeks pink, eyes bright. Nobody erased you, she whispers. Not today. Not ever. Her phone buzzes. Michelle again. Mediation request came in from their lawyer. Tomorrow at 10. Emma stands, brushing snow from her coat. She takes Mia's hand. Tomorrow, she says, steady now. We walk in with the truth and we don't back down. Mia squeezes back. We've got pictures, she says. Emma smiles. We've got pictures. The mediation is held in a neutral downtown office, white walls, beige chairs, one pot of dying lilies on the table. Emma sits with Noah and Walter on one side, Michelle beside them, calm as ever. Across the table are George, Linda, and Jake. The mediator, a woman in her 50s, begins gently, we're here to find common ground. George mutters, "There isn't any." Emma sits upright. "Dad, we didn't come to fight. We just want you to acknowledge what you did and stop treating us like an embarrassment." Linda's voice wavers. "We never meant to hurt Mia." Emma looks at her mother. "Then why did you erase her?" Linda hesitates. "Your father thought people would gossip." Walter interjects. "Gossip fades. Cruelty sticks." Jake clears his throat. "Let's end this. I'll restore every photo, public apology if you want." George slams his hand on the table. "No apology. This is extortion." Michelle's voice cuts through the noise. "It's accountability. And the loan remains unresolved." The mediator sighs. "Mr. Parker, perhaps a simple apology could bring peace." George's face reddens. "You'll never get my house or my apology." Emma looks at him one last time. "Then we're done trying." Outside the mediation building, cold air whips across the street. Emma stands still, staring up at the gray sky. Noah wraps an arm around her shoulders. "You did what you could," he says. Walter exhales slowly. He's too proud to see what he's lost. Michelle packs her folder. "I'll file the lawsuit by morning." Emma nods, eyes glassy. "Do it." They walk in silence to the car. Mia sits in the back seat, drawing in her sketchbook. "Mom, what's that building?" she asks. "It's where grown-ups try to fix mistakes," Emma answers softly. "Did they fix ours?" "Not yet," Emma replies. "But we're telling the truth, and truth doesn't need permission." At home, Walter lights the fireplace. "Once the case is filed, you'll need to prepare for fallout," he says. "People will talk." Emma smiles faintly. "Let them. I've lived half my life trying to be small so others could be comfortable." She looks at Noah. "Not anymore." Noah nods, his voice firm. "No more editing out the truth." The trial begins 3 months later. The courtroom is quiet, all wood and echoes. Judge Williams, a tall woman with steel-gray hair, presides. Walter sits straight-backed beside Emma, while Michelle arranges documents in neat rows. Across from them, George and Linda whisper angrily to their lawyer. Jake avoids Emma's eyes. The judge asks, "Why did you wait 15 years to reclaim this debt?" Walter answers, "Because I believed family would honor a promise." Michelle adds, "That faith was betrayed." George's lawyer insists the money was a gift, but Michelle produces the emails George promising repayment. The judge's brows knit. These are clear enough. Then Michelle presents the screen recording Jake sent the erased photos, timestamps, edits. Gasps ripple through the room. The judge watches the video silently before saying, "Erasing a child from family history is not illegal, but it speaks volumes about intent." George's face drains of color. "That file is fake," he growls. Jake finally looks up. "It's not fake, Dad," he says quietly. "I made it. I can prove it's real." The courtroom falls silent. George stares at his son, speechless. The verdict comes a week later. The courtroom is hushed as Judge Williams reads from her papers. The court finds that the $400,000 was a loan, not a gift. Defendants are ordered to repay $700,000 including interest and a $3,000 penalty for harassment. Linda sobs quietly. George sinks into his chair, pale and trembling. Jake bows his head, tears sliding down his cheeks. Walter doesn't smile, he only exhales, eyes heavy with sorrow. When they step outside, reporters swarm. One asks, "Do you have anything to say to your father?" Emma answers simply, "I hope he learns what family really means." That night at Walter's house, Mia curls beside her grandfather, showing him her finished album. The cover reads, "Nobody erases me." Inside are photos of laughter, truth, and real love, nothing edited. Walter's eyes mist. "You made this." "We all did," Mia says proudly. Emma hugs her father's arm. "You gave me the courage," she whispers. Walter smiles softly. "And you gave me hope." 2 years later, Emma's new photography studio opens downtown. The sign above the door reads "The Honest Frame." Clients come from all over for portraits that show real emotion, no filters, no perfection, just truth. Walter sits at the front desk, proudly flipping through Mia's printed photos. Noah adjusts lights while Emma captures a laughing couple in mid-spin. On the wall hangs a framed picture of Emma, Noah, Mia, and Walter all smiling naturally. Underneath, a simple quote reads, No one gets erased. One afternoon, a familiar figure appears at the door. Jake, holding a photo envelope. Mom and Dad sold the house, he says quietly. They're in a small apartment now. Dad asked if he could see Mia someday. Emma studies him for a moment, then nods. Someday, not today. Jake nods, eyes damp. He finally saw the album online. Said it was beautiful. Emma smiles gently. It's the truth. When Jake leaves, Mia runs in with a camera. Mom, can we take one more picture for the wall? Of course, Emma says. They pose together, 4 generations of truth and healing. Moral lesson. Family isn't defined by blood or appearance, it's defined by who refuses to erase you when life gets difficult. Thanks you for watching, and please remember to tell us where you are watching from today. Hit the like button, comment and subscribe to this channel for more of this.